Hello, welcome to episode 49 of Little Bobbins Knits. My name is Dani and you can find me on Ravelry and Instagram as Little Bobbins. We have a Ravelry group which you can find by searching Little Bobbins Knits in the groups tab on Ravelry, and show notes for the podcast can be found at littlebobbins.co.uk. So we're outside today. It's the most beautiful day out and I don't like leaving Bobbin outside when I'm inside, and he is the most sun-worshipping dog there is, so I thought, why not come outside and podcast? We'll see how it goes. I don't know if you'll be able to hear me or if there'll be too much random noise, but I do know I can see a very, very happy dog just lounging about in the sun. Hopefully he'll come and say hello to us in a bit. Are you going to come say hello in a bit? He's just in bliss with this weather. So I thought what we would do is I would show you my works in progress, finished objects and some lovely things out here, and then we'll go inside and I will draw for the prizes of the little along finally, and I'll show you a few things I've been making for my shop too. Oh, it's so lovely out. So let's start with some works in progress. I've worked on so many things since I saw you last, but I've just brought a few out to show you. This is one that's currently in, what's the word? We're not speaking at the moment in this project at all. I realised I've made a mistake, so I've just left it in the middle of a row, well, not even in the middle. But this is my 3-colour cashmere shawl it's by Hohi Locatelli. I wonder what the colour will be like as we're outside. This is lovely yarn from the Little Grey Sheep, which is a local yarn company. They have the sheep and they spin the yarn locally and they dye the yarn at their farm. It's all about an almond oil, which is just lovely. This is spring greens, this green colour. This one, sort of pinky colour, is my Secret Valentine. And then this colour down here was polar. It was a white colour. But I started with it and I just wasn't keen how it was looking. It was looking a bit stark against these two colours. So I dyed it, which was very exciting. I'm really good friends with Molly of A Homespun House. We chat quite often, and she is the most infectiously enthusiastic person about dyeing. So I just couldn't stop myself giving it a go. There have been a few disastrous skeins, but this one actually turned out how I wanted it to. It's just sort of a really light tea-stained sort of colour, and I like how it goes with the other colours so much more now. Sort of the same sort of tone of colour, I think, although I could be using tone completely wrong because I don't actually know what it means, but that makes sense. So I've made a mistake in this lace pattern 3 times now. It's not a particularly difficult lace pattern. I find that the most simple lace patterns are the ones that I find the most challenging to get right. It was the same with the Campside Shawl by Alicia Plummer. I made so many mistakes in the first one of those, and it was such a simple lace pattern. This is the same sort of thing. So I need to rip it back again, start the lace pattern again, or I might just end up putting in some garter stitch rows because I don't think I can go wrong with those. Although I did make a mistake with some vanilla socks after I put this down, so it could happen. Oh, this is in my lovely Jenna Rose bag. This was sent to me by the very, very lovely Antonella, Antonella has a podcast as well. It's called Diary of a Yarnaholic, and it's really lovely. Antonella is just a really lovely person. We've chatted quite a bit. She's really, really sweet. And she very kindly sent me this. Thank you so much, Antonella. I'll put links to her podcast in the show notes. I hope you can hear me over whatever is happening over there. I may have to re-record this inside. We'll see how it goes. I've also been working a bit on my True Friend, which I think I started last August. I think it was very soon after we moved. It's now got the body sorted out. I don't know how to explain it really. I didn't bring it out because I'm currently sulking with that as well. That's by Vera Valimaki, and I'm having issues with the cast off. I don't like how it looks, so that is also being ignored. Just seemed to have a time where all of my projects were going wrong. I don't know if you have that sort of time as well. I was just managing to mess up absolutely everything, so... Oh well. A red kite circling up there. Bobbin, do you want to come over here? Come here! Come here! He doesn't want to, he's sunbathing. I grabbed little Bobbin. He's just so happy out here. Except when he starts barking. So, my next work in progress is a really exciting one. It's a test knit for Debbie and Amy, who are Inked Indigo and Debbie's Reese. Yeah, Debbie's Reese on Instagram. Ooh, the sun's coming out. And they have collaborated on this really, really beautiful shawl design, and they asked me to test knit it. And I was very excited to do that. It is inspired, well, I wonder if, I'll check if they mind me sharing the story behind the shawl, and if they don't mind, then I will next time. But it's just a lovely story behind the shawl, and it's a beautiful, beautiful shawl as well. There's starlings over there on my bird feeder. Now there's a robin. Recording outside might not be a good idea because I get distracted by all of the wildlife. These starlings. I've got a window feeder on my window in my studio, and they come like a little gang and just devour all of the mealworm that I put on there, squawking and pecking away. They're quite noisy, but I do love seeing them. They're not doing very well in this country at the moment, the starlings. But we've got a very healthy little gang in our garden. Oh. So yes, this lovely design. I'm keeping it in my completely sweet bag from Girls So Sheepy. She's got an Etsy shop. I'll put links in the show notes. This is embroidered by hand, and it is the neatest thing ever. It's just so beautifully done. And Tammy also sent us, Tammy from Girls So Sheepy also sent us a giveaway prize, so I'll show you that in a bit. So Amy and Debbie also sent the yarn to use for this test knit. I got an email with all of the different colours of Anzula Squishy saying pick 3 for this shawl. How exciting. It's quite hard to pick colours on a computer screen. I'm sure you've found that if you've tried to buy yarn online for a project where they're all going to be used together. But it was so fun. I made lots of little collages and put lots of different options together. But in the end I went with this 3. And I'm so pleased with them. So this one is Denim, this one's Irene, and this one is Gravity. This is sort of a silvery grey, a really, really pretty lilac, or mauvey lilac, and this is sort of a teal blue. I've started with the Gravity, and I've done this much so far. I'm having no problem with this lace pattern. Sometimes I think you just need a break from things, don't you? So I'm sure if I start that other lace pattern again on my 3-colour cashmere shawl, I'll be able to do it just fine. Fingers crossed. But yeah, this has got really, really sweet flowers in the lace. And I'm just about to start with a different colour, I think, which is very exciting. I can't wait to see how the colours work together in the knitted piece. I think that's going to be really fun. So hopefully today I will get to start with the new colours. So the yarn we're using is Anzula Squishy, which I've never used before. It's an 80% superwash merino, 10% cashmere, 10% nylon. It's really beautiful yarn. So it's a real treat to get to use something I haven't used and I don't think is readily available here, but I'm not sure. I know that I've never seen it on my various yarny adventures, but I might have just missed it. So I'm enjoying that a lot. And this bag is such a lovely size for the 300-gram cakes and my work in progress. My last project, I've been standing unnervingly close to the tripod. Bobbin, eating some grass in my lovely little zippy bag from Alex Collins Designs. I met up with Alex for coffee the other day. It was so lovely. She's very inspiring, very, very interesting, and it was just lovely to spend time with her. But I couldn't resist asking her to bring along one of these for me to buy, because I've been looking at these for quite a while, and it seemed like perfect timing if I was going to be meeting up with her. And this bag is so full of lovely colours. I don't know if you can see. I balled up, Molly from Homespun House sent me a pack of her minis. I think they're the ones that she had in her Cozy Memories kits. A whole selection of lovely colours and lovely bases. And I just really fancied knitting some scrappy socks out of them. I knit some scrappy socks about 3 years ago. I knit a few different pairs of scrappy socks. There's a red kite circling overhead. Above, I mean, not ahead, that's forward. Yeah, about 3 years ago I knit a few pairs of scrappy socks and I absolutely loved them. And I've wanted to knit another pair more recently, because I was having this chat with Kim, who is Squimbelina, and she was saying about how interesting it would be to use yarns that I'm using now and see how different they would be to the scrappy socks that I made before. And I thought that would be so interesting, sort of a little capsule of your knitting life at that time, because I remember the ones that I made before, they were I think they were pretty much all opal or regia yarn, and while I still absolutely love that yarn, I don't seem to knit with it as often. I've got some balls upstairs that are just waiting for me to break into. I'm really, really excited about starting to knit with them, but I just haven't got round to it yet. So I thought that would be really fun to have sort of cozy memory socks, I suppose, for seems like a fitting phrase. But yeah, so these are how they're looking so far. I wonder if you're going to be able to see the colour. I'm doing them toe up. I had to go and grab Bobbin again. He's just so intent on ferociously guarding the garden from nothing. So anyway, so here are what the socks are looking like so far. I'm knitting them toe up, and I think when I knit my scrappy socks 3 years ago, I was going through a toe up phase. It's funny how things like that happen. I was doing toe up 2 at a time on magic loop actually at that time, and that is not something that I would choose to do at all now. So it's really funny how your tastes change, I think. Oh, you're so warm. But I decided to do these toe up as well. I think that's crows. Because I didn't know how much knitting I would get done with the mini skeins. I'm sure it will be enough for a pair of socks, but just in case, I wanted to be able to stop it at whatever height was necessary up the leg. So I put in 1, 2, 3, 5 different colours so far. The sun's gone in a bit, so I wonder if you'll be able to see the colours a bit better. I started with this beautiful colour, which is Molly's barley colour, which she's knitting her jumper in at the moment, and it is the most beautiful warm golden colour. Absolutely love it. So I'm doing 10 rows of each colour, and I've been using my scales. I've got these little digital scales that I just got from eBay. I think they were about £4 or something, and they are so handy. And I think I should be able to get 2 rows of 10 on each sock. Did that make sense? So I've got 10 rows of this here, and then I think I'll be able to put another 10 rows somewhere higher on the sock and then do the same on the next sock. I've been wanting to cast on the next one so that I've got them going at the same time, but I can't seem to put it down. My little progress keeper is from Molly at Homespun House as well. It's a little jangly bell. It's really cute. And I think I'll use this colour for the Fish Lips Kiss heel, which is what I will probably do. I quite like having the toe and the heel a solid-ish colour, sort of tonal colour. I don't know why. Maybe because that's what I tend to do with my other socks. With pattern, I put in a solid heel and toe. So I'm really enjoying those. They're really, really fun. And there is something so compulsive when you get to change yarn every 10 rows. I am just changing my yarn. I'm not knitting them in, or I'm not magic knotting them or anything. So I will have lots of ends to weave in the end. I've already got quite a few ends. But I just prefer the look of it when they're just sewn in nice and neatly. I really love how they look on the inside, actually. Quite tempted to turn them inside out when they're finished. So I think that's all of my works in progress that I'll show you today. They're the ones that I've been working most on over this last week. And my finished objects, I've been working a bit on my socks in my basket, but that, as soon as I make the commitment I'm going to finish all of those, I don't want to knit socks. Because I'm awkward. But never mind. So my finished objects are David's birthday socks. They have been worn quite a few times, so they're not looking at their best. They've just been washed, they haven't been blocked again, and I can only find one of these. Goodness only knows where the other one is. But he really likes them. This is the Berger de France Gumi 50 in the Imprim Jaune. I haven't trimmed my end, but he's still been wearing them. And they're just lovely. I really, really loved knitting with this yarn. It's really plump and squishy, and it's really, really nice and soft. It's soft enough for David too, which is testament to its softness because he is quite picky. And these are the slipper wearing monkey from Felt Fusion. They've got sparkling, I don't know if you can see that. And I love how these came out. I knit them both in exactly the same way. I did top down, cuff down, about 20 rows of rib and 68 stitches with a 2.25mm needle, and then a slip stitch heel and a square heel turn. I've heard people mentioning on podcasts about the square heel turn, how it gives you a shallow gusset, but I always do my gusset decreases every other row, so it's the same sort of length as a regular gusset. And then I've just done a slightly rounded toe. But yeah, he's really pleased with those. I've actually started another pair for him, but I forgot to bring them out. I'll show you them next time. There's some really lovely stripy yarn from British Bee Knits. So on to lovely things. The weekend before last, I think it was, I went to Wonderwall. It's in Wales, and I've never been before. It was really, really interesting. I think I've never been before because I thought it was further away than it actually was. I think it took us about 3 and a bit hours to get there. And it was so worth the trip. It felt different to other festivals that I've been to because I think perhaps because it was in farm sort of buildings, there was an awful lot of space. It didn't feel cramped at all. And there were some really interesting vendors that I haven't seen at other shows. It was a really, really lovely day. I got to meet up with my friend Deb, who's Tink Hickman, which was such a treat because she's just lovely. And I also got to meet up with Diane and Derek, and who's Pink Perler and Drumroller on Ravelry. And Diane's been such a support of the podcast and me personally since I've started this, I think. She's such a lovely woman, and it was really lovely to meet her. And this show let you take dogs. I didn't take Bobbin because of the long journey and the fact that he hates all people and animals, so I thought it would be risky. But Diane bought her dog Harvey, who is a toy poodle, and he is the cutest thing. He's absolutely adorable. Bobbin has seen something that is upsetting him. Oh no, he's okay now. I think it was a big bug or something. Come over here, Bobbin. Come here. And Harvey is just an incredible dog. Apart from being completely adorable, he does the most fantastic tricks. So yeah, it was lovely. And I picked up a few things while I was there. I couldn't resist these 2 minis from Sarah's Texture Crafts. I actually really wanted this one in a full skein, but by the time I'd got there, we went on Sunday and it had been open the day before, and by the time I got to Sarah's Texture Crafts it was sort of a bit later in the day, and yeah, I think it's all sold by then. But this is the Precious Rock colourway, and it's so lovely. It's sort of got turquoises, teals, and then this really rich burgundy wine, and there's brown and gold in between. Oh, it's lovely. It's on a sparkle base. And this one's really nice. This is, now how do you say this? It's abalone or abalone? But it's orange, brown, and then turquoises. Really lovely. And I also got the lovely skein from Owl About Yarn. And it was lovely to meet the dyer of Owl About Yarn. And she also has podcasts, I'll put links in the show notes. And yeah, I couldn't resist this one. It's called Caramel Macchiato. I wonder if you'll be able to see it. It's got browns, oranges and yellows. It's sort of speckled and really interesting. This is in a Happy Owl sock, which is a Blueface Leicester and nylon blend. I was thinking of socks for David out of this. I'm not certain, because I kind of love it. For me. And I also love Caramel Macchiato. So. And then my last purchase was from John Arbon. John Arbon were debuting their Knit by Numbers 4-ply. I think that's what it's called. I was really excited to see it. I love the Knit by Numbers yarn. It just comes in such a wonderful range of colours, and I was excited about the 4-ply because I really like knitting with that weight. So I picked up enough for a cardigan in this colour. This is colour 48. I've got a few different cardigans in mind. I wonder if we can move the light. I don't know. I've got a few different cardigans in mind. I'm not sure which it'll be yet. But I got home, was having a look at my stash, and I realised I had bought pretty much exactly the same colour for a cardigan in a 4-ply from Unravel in February. So I'm just going to take that to mean that I really, really want a cardigan in this colour. I think what I'm going to have to do is, oh, there's a lovely butterfly flying around. It's white with orange tips on its wings. Distracted by nature again. Yeah, what I'm going to do is maybe snip off a bit of all of my yarn that I have planned for cardigans and take it with me to shows so that I don't buy the same colour again. It's a different blend, at least. This is 100% pure Falklands merino wool, and the other one is my Titus from Baramu, which I think has got Wensleydale in it, so it's got a different feel to it. I'm consoling myself with the fact that they're not just identical yarns in any way I can. Oh dear, I couldn't believe that when I came back. And so, but that knit by numbers makes knitting a garment really, really budget friendly, which I like. It's £10 a skein at the shows, and I don't know if it's different on their website or not. £10 a skein, and it's got 400 metres, I think. Yeah, 400 metres. So for a cardigan my size, I need 3 or 4, I'm not sure. But that's a lot kinder to the pocket than some other yarns, which is good for me. So the other lovely things that I've got to show you are things that have very, very kindly been sent to me. So I mentioned earlier when Tammy sent me the bag with the lovely stag on it, she also sent one to give away, and it's this. Isn't it adorable? Little picnicking person with a bunny and a hedgehog. It's so cute. So that's girlsosheepy.etsy.com. Well, it looks like Tammy has a podcast. Oh, I need to have a look at that. I didn't know that. And it's just plain on the back. It's really lovely. Oh, I do love a breeze. And it's got this lovely pink polka dot. Just noticed Bobbin had something in his mouth. We've got new fat balls for the birds. They're ones from the RSPB, and the birds seem to love them, but they're really, really crumbly, so bits fall out of the cage and onto the floor. This one was just walking around with a chunk of fat ball in his mouth. Ridiculous, isn't it, Bobbin? You're a piglet. He's got some sort of flower pollen stuff on his head as well. Anyway, where was I? I can't remember. Anyway, we'll give away that lovely bag. Oh, that's a fly. He doesn't like flies. But we'll give away that lovely bag very soon. I was thinking it would look lovely with the yarn that the Little French Meadow sent us. Lovely pale pink. So I was thinking we'd pair it with that. And then Hannah from Circus Tonic Handmade also sent me some lovely yarn. She sent me 2 of her skeins of Fiesta Fingering. He's just gone and got another bit of fat ball. It's just disgusting. I've told him to put it down, and he actually has, but he might find another piece. So yes, Hannah from Circus Tonic Handmade has sent me some lovely skeins of Fiesta Fingering 4-ply, which is 100% Australian superwash merino, and it is the squishiest thing ever. It's really plump. I actually got in touch with her and said, is this really fingering weight? Because it just looks so plump and lovely. It is, of course. She yeah, she told me it's just a really lovely plump fingering. It's beautiful. In this one there are all really delicate shades of grey and pink. I wonder if the camera's picking that up. And this is the, I'm not sure how to pronounce this, Hannah. Maybe Galar? I don't know. And this one is, oh, I don't know how to pronounce that either. I'll just show you. Looks to me like Sabine's Evil, but I don't know if that's true. Hopefully you can read that. These are beautiful, and these are just calling me. I think that they want to be a Great Divide shawl. I know that a while back everyone was knitting those shawls and they were just beautiful. I don't know how it's knit because I haven't bought the pattern or anything yet, but it looks to me like there's some sort of slip stitchy thing going on or something, but it really plays with colour and your yarn really interestingly. I thought that in a sort of slip stitch pattern with this would just look so beautiful, so that's a possibility. She also sent me 2 skeins of her Revelry sock fingering 4-ply, which is 80% superwash merino, 20% nylon. This is so soft and squishy. Hannah said to give away one of these skeins, so I'll pick which one, and that'll be a really exciting giveaway. This one is Pink Robin. It's beautiful warm pink colour. Looks very much like my nail varnish actually. And this one is King Quail, which is this beautiful bluey purple, and it's got shots of red going through it. It's really, really lovely. So thank you so much for those, Tammy and Hannah. Really, really lovely, and I'm looking forward to giving away some lovely things on the podcast. So, I think that's all we'll talk about while I'm outside. We'll go inside now, or in a minute when Bobbins stopped finding fat balls and things to be cheeky with, and I will show you my, there's 4 red kites going over. 5, oh my goodness, amazing. Oh, I wish I could show you that so much. You're not going to be able to see anything. If I leave that in, you will just get a really good shot of the sky, I imagine. And now I've messed up this arrangement. So yeah, we'll go in now, and I will show you the lovely things that I've got made to go into my shop, and we'll draw for the prizes for the little along, which is very exciting indeed. So I'll see you inside in a second. Should we go in, Bobbin? Should we go in? What do you think? Is it too fun out here? We're back indoors now. The camera's in the right place. Yes, so what did you think of that outside, Bobbin? He's going to want to go straight back outside when we're done, so I think, assuming I can see the screen, I think I'll go and try and edit the podcast out there so that he can get a bit more time in the garden. I know in theory that he'd be fine in the garden on his own, but until we get our fences redone and I know that they're completely and utterly secure, he's not going to be let out there for any length of time on his own. Anyway, so I thought we would come inside and I would draw for the prizes for the little along and show you a few things that I'll be putting in my shop so that I didn't have to take all of those outside. So I drew for the prizes, and thank you so much to everyone who took part in the knit along. I'm sorry it's taken me so long to draw for prizes and get that all sorted out, but yeah. I never think that I'm very good at knit alongs really. But I so appreciate you taking part, and I really appreciate the people who have donated prizes for us to give away. It's just lovely for me to be able to, I don't know, be the middle person in passing on something lovely. So yeah, thank you to all of you for taking part and for donating prizes. Oh, you need to be stroked. I've got a new tripod and I think it's slightly taller than my last one, so yeah, I need to get used to that. Hey Bobbin. Okay, so I drew a few prizes from the finished objects thread, and I drew a couple of prizes from the chat thread. So the first prize that I drew for was for this beautiful Mrs. Brown's bag. There's also a lovely little mini skein, a maple sweet. It's a polka dot one like mine. It's got a little tassel on there. So the first prize that I drew for is for that bag and this beautiful skein from Juliana's Fibre, I'm sorry. It's the I Smell Snow colourway. And it is so beautiful. So that's a really lovely prize. And that went to Rose Bob, who is Rose, and it was for her post where she posted her finished object, which was a pair of gargoyles, which were just wonderful. I loved those. If you see this before I've got in touch, then do get in touch with me, but if I might get in touch with you, because it's been ages since this knit along finished, and yeah, you might think that I'm just not doing prizes anymore, so you might not be watching. So I will get in touch with you if I haven't heard from you in a little while. But yeah, congratulations Rose. Our next prize was this beautiful bag, which was made by Sabine, who also made me a bag for my Christmas Eve socks. And look at that cute pom-pom. And this lovely little set of goodies from Knitting I Love that I showed a couple of podcasts ago. And that prize went to Poppy Sue, and you didn't have a name on your profile page, but this was for the post that you posted of a lovely little hat that you made. So congratulations to you too. Weirdly, both of those people are in the UK, which I thought was really bizarre. And I also drew for a pattern prize for the finished objects thread, and that went to Better and Popcorn, who is Deborah. So get in touch with me, Deborah, and let me know what pattern you would like. That pattern prize was very, very kindly donated by an absolutely lovely friend of the podcast. And from the chat thread, and this was weird because both of the people who won prizes in the chat thread were from Portugal. Very, very strange. I popped this bag back in because it didn't get claimed last time we had our prizes. So I put that in with some mini skeins. These all seem to be David socks, except for, oh no, they're 3 David socks and 2 my mum's socks. There's some mini skeins of my yarn, or yarn that I've used. Bobbin, stop being such a fidget. Come on, sit down. So this lovely prize, and this bag is from Thimble and Thread Make, and Tracy of Thimble and Thread Make has a lovely podcast. I'll put links to it in the show notes. And she has a shop where she sells beautiful things. That lovely prize went to Iribaro. Not sure how you pronounce that. I'm not sure how you pronounce your name either. Is it Isa or Isa? So sorry about that. That's just all round bad pronouncing. But congratulations for winning a prize. And then the last prize I drew for, also from the chat thread, was from a pattern from the lovely Nina Lafontaine. And that went to Claudia Rocha. It was Claudia. So get in touch with me, Claudia, or Nina. I'm not sure who you should get in touch with. Just get in touch with me, let me know which pattern you would like, and I'll let Nina know and she'll send it over to you. So yeah, that's all the prizes. Thank you so much again to everyone who took part and to everyone who donated prizes. It's just, I really enjoyed seeing your little along projects, even if I didn't take part as much as I would have liked to. So yeah, if everyone who won just gets in touch with me, and if I don't hear from you for a bit, then I'll get in touch with you, because I do appreciate that this is much later than it should have been. So yes. So I wanted to show you a few things that I've been making for my shop. You're right, Bobbin. You good boy. Oh, doesn't want to be indoors. I've been making quite a few things for my shop. Oh, and this reminds me actually. Most of the things that I've got made are free motion applique things. So I've got some really sweet little notebook covers. These are sort of reusable, so you can just slip the notebook out when you've finished and put a new one in, which I really like. I've got that in a few designs. I've got some socks, some different coloured socks, and some sheep. And I just love this sheep fabric, sort of graph grid paper. And I've got that in larger notebooks as well. Oh, Bobbin's stolen my arm. So sheep and some different coloured socks. And I remember seeing in my, I wonder if I should talk about this now. Paula, who is Snail Garden, Paula and I got to spend some time with Paula at the Curious Handmade Country House Retreat, which was lovely because Paula is absolutely lovely. But I saw that she left a question in the questions thread about which sewing machine I use. And now I'm wondering whether I should wait and tell you about it another time. Perhaps I'll just say now. So my sewing machine is a Bernina. It's just under my desk. I think it's B330. I got it about 4 or 5 years ago and I absolutely love it. I think it's sort of the entry level of the that range, or possibly of Berninas, I'm not sure, but it's quite a basic machine. It doesn't do some of the fancy things that my mum's machine does, for example. She's got this lovely Husqvarna quilting machine that does all kinds of things, but it does everything I need it to do. The most things that I use my machine for are straight stitching, or the free motion, which is just straight stitch that you guide as opposed to the machine guiding you. I don't tend to use any of the embroidery stitches. I'll probably use blanket stitch occasionally or zigzag. But I think, well, Starling just landed on my window feeder. I think that the machines get more expensive the more fancy things that they do. So yeah, this sort of entry level one was as much as I could afford at the time. I got the best machine that I could afford at the time, and I absolutely love it. I think it's a fantastic machine. I really like Bernina. I do find that I certainly develop a sort of brand loyalty. My first machine was given to me by my Auntie Jack, and it was given to her by someone else, and it was a Bernina 1008, and it's a great machine. I've still got it downstairs actually, but I think it's one that they use a lot in schools, or did use a lot in schools when schools had textiles programs. It's very, very solid and a real workhorse of a machine. But when I could afford to invest in one of my own, I chose to stick with Bernina because I just really, really enjoyed the first machine, and I'm really pleased I did because I think that they're really great machines. I don't think I'm the only one that sort of develops brand loyalty. I know my mum loves anything Husqvarna, so yeah, I think that's just what we do. But if you were looking into a machine and don't need it to do anything particularly fancy, it has functions like needle down, where you just press a button and the needle will stay down and stuff like that, but it doesn't have other fancy things like cutting your thread, or I don't know, my mum's got this one where it holds the needle in a sort of half position, which is magic. And I think if you don't have those, you don't miss them. But I imagine if my mum used my machine, she would miss the functions that she has on hers. So yeah, all in all, after all that rambling, I really like my machine and would recommend it to anyone who is buying a new machine. I love it. But yeah, I thought of that because of all the sewing that I've been doing. So I've got other things that will be going into the shop. I've got a few different things with bunting, free motion. Oh, there's that tag. Got zip, drawstring and little notions pouch. And I've had some questions about my designs, what templates I use. And I don't use templates for any of my designs. All of the applique designs that I do are from my original sketches that I've done and that I've then transferred into sewing. Got some more things in the sheep design, like on the notebook. Got a little drawstring and a zip pouch. And I love the fabric that I've used for the sheep on here. Really sweet grid-like fabric as well. I think it sort of gives the sheep a bit of a sort of modern, interesting look instead of being something else. I don't know. And then, hello baby, oh good boy. And then I've got some different socks. Oh, I forgot I'm on a spinny chair. I've got some different socks. So I've got yellow drawstring. I haven't got any sock zip bags. And I've got a grello. And then I've got these two, which have got little flashes of metallic in, which I think are really cute. Green has got a gold metallic and the pink has got a sort of silver metallic. And I've also got this new design that I've been working on. It's a little caravan and I think it's so cute. It was a friend of mine's birthday and I know she likes going on holiday in her caravan. So I designed a little bag that I wanted to give one to her for her birthday, and I liked it so much that I've made some more for the shop. I just think it's so cute. That's a drawstring as well. And I've made some needle cozies, and for me they're sort of keeping in with the caravan summer holidays type theme. There's these ones that have got little biscuits on. And these just make me think of, we used to go camping when I was a child every year. We never stayed in a caravan, we always stayed in a tent. And for some reason, these biscuits make me think of sitting in a rainy tent, dunking biscuits in tea. I just love those. And I also made these, which remind me of summer holidays. Beach towels, beach balls, and just all the rainbow brightness of a seaside town. So yeah, that's what I've been making for my shop and really enjoying. I'm hoping to put those in my shop next week, maybe Tuesday or Wednesday. I'll put a note in the top of my shop on Etsy. I've been delaying it because I'm looking to move my shop onto a different website, but I just don't think it's the exact right time now, so I'll probably still put these on Etsy. But so I'll update that bit at the top with when I'm going to do it, sort of nearer the time. Probably over this weekend I'll pop it up there. And I always announce shop updates on Instagram if you'd like to keep up with them that way. But yeah, I hope you're excited to see those in the shop because I'm really, really excited for them. So, thank you so much for coming and watching today. I do hope the footage outside came out okay. I'm going to edit it now and see what it looks like. And if the prize winners could get in touch, but if I don't hear from you, then I'll get in touch with you. Yeah, I really, really appreciate you coming to watch. If you've watched before, thank you so much for coming back. And if it's your first episode, I do hope you've enjoyed it, even if it was a bit all over the place, being outside. So I really hope to see you soon, and I hope you have a lovely time. Until then, bye. You going to say bye, Bobby? Are you so tired from all your sunbathing? Bye.